Watching Doctrzombie. He's not a doctor or a zombie, but he knows a lot about zombies. And he plays
What you want, do what you want. There's no admins that are gonna be like, you know, slapping you on the wrist for stuff. Well, yeah, so anyway, we have to think of a name for this base. I mean, it's coming along real well. Whoops. There we go. And up, and up, and up. Oh, I ran out of slabs, that's why. I'm like, what happened?
They're just oh my goodness! You're a murderer! You're a murderer!
Where was the body?
And I just saw yellow and black.
I saw somebody kill somebody and I didn't report. Because it was Heather. Heather just killed the man.
Wow, so you know Heather was the killer and you didn't report it?
We have like this thing where he's not gonna report.
Okay, everybody vote Doctrzombie.
I was venting in front of you to show you that I was imposter.
I was very conflicted. I'm sorry, I told you the truth. Heather murdered a man.
I think it's Doctrzombie, honestly.
I'll tell you everything. Heather killed him in O2. After the lights came back on, I finished my task. Heather was standing there waiting and then stabbed a person. It was Dom. It was yellow. Fantastic. You said Pluto was in the other one?
I saw.
Hello again. Welcome back to another Doctrzombie live stream. That's right. I know all of you except for Dirty Dog are sick and tired of the Roottrees are dead. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you guys are loving it. I'm loving it, and I'm almost done. And I want to wrap it up neat and tidy in a perfect package. I forgot to send the Hype Squad message. I hit enter and instead it did like a shift enter, so it didn't send. It just added a new line character. So only Brandon knows that I'm here. You're not sick of it? Great. Glad to hear it. But this may be the last night because we are so close to the end of the bonus Roottrees are dead. I'm a secret Roottreemania content that I'm almost certain to finish tonight before I have to run out and get my wife and her friends from their girls' night. So I've got a Not Your Father's Root Beer to celebrate. One drink ought to be fine, especially because I won't be leaving for 3 hours at least. And we had just unlocked a real big secret finding piece, which is a new periodical, the Miami Metro, or whatever the fuck it was called here, the Miami Mercury, which gave us a whole bunch of new insight. And then, of course, I had to quit because it was after 11, and I just looked up Barb Williams, motivational speaker in Florida, and I got a flyer for her, and I could check the periodical for her name, and Barb, nope, okay. But that gave me Barbara Williams, public speaker. She is most certainly genetically related to Elias Roottree through Bess Williams, the author, through her son Frank, the orphan, who married Ophelia. They also, and I believe Barbara Williams got pregnant at a young age. I don't have anything yet to support this theory, but I told my son that I am often figuring out what I'm looking for next just before it happens, like the IVF thing, the fake in vitro that resulted in yet another Roottree child, Min Lang. We still need Susan Ford. We will get there. She's the principal at the school. We need pictures of her kids. Don't know how we're going to get there, but we will. I'll probably wind up using a squeaky rubber ducky for that one, and I have a feeling this trail went cold, but maybe now with the Miami Herald I'll be able to get some more info. So the Barb Williams flyer did contain lots of information. We got more information than anybody else. She is so we've got Greta Jones from WQTV12. Let's start there. Morning news anchor for a channel. Unfortunately, no online web presence. You do find it listed on a giant list of television call signs next to the city Springfield under the heading Effingham County. Effingham County. You may need to do a deeper dive on a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed the news in that area. Well, there's plenty of Springfields, and I don't know that I've seen Effingham County before, but we will search for that. Georgia and Illinois. There's definitely a Springfield, Illinois. It's not located in Effingham County. Never mind. Jesus, I'm having trouble spelling. There is a Springfield in Effingham County in Georgia. Okay, so do I have any Georgia? Is Mideastern, maybe? WQTV12. Or Greta Jones, actually, might be a better search. Okay, periodical. The Herald. Business Watch. Butler County. It's not going to be there. I feel like I'm missing another periodical, and it's got to be a Georgia periodical. We're going to have to figure this out. All right, let's go back to the other names on the list. We're gonna flag this here as a highlight, and we will check for Vic Elmsworth. For fuck off. Okay, and I'll fix that because it didn't highlight properly. Vic Elmsworth. One of three brothers. All three of them contribute to a newspaper called the Kickewa Falls Gazette. Tends to focus more on the southeastern United States, Georgia. Of the articles he's written are archived on his site, including the long-form version of his review for Barb Williams' motivational show from '97. According to Victor, he has seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church. It was clear she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd because she received standing ovation. Barb started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of bicyclists who had been hit by a car. She spoke about the death of any person as darkness on their loved ones, cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there was once light. But because the light could never return exactly how it once was, she says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. Her conclusion that finding a hidden meanings in tragedy is the most important thing we could do. She used multiple biblical comparisons, finished by looping back to her initial story of how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. So she had a son-in-law and a daughter. Daughter, son-in-law, biker. Backing around. The charity, was the light that began to fill the void. So here we go. We've got lots of potential options here. We've got the Kickewa Falls Gazette. We've got this charity, Lanes Across America. We're going to search that one next. Here's the Gazette. Oh, man. Chris Elmsworth invented a small-town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. The Kickewa Falls Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurants, shows, and other tourist attractions all across the United States. It's presented as a monthly newspaper of small-town America. What makes it strange is amongst the articles detailing real locations are occasional stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article titled, Mermaids strike back against lobster farms that, using very dry language, details the idea that the mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize in support of better benefits. There are no punchlines. The articles are not marked any different from the rest. Each current issue of the paper is presented on the homepage. There are no archives. Boo! Okay, well... Chris Elmsworth. I'm just going to flag his name here because we're going into a deep thing. It was Lanes Across America? No. Yes, it was. LAA. Charity focused on adding bike lanes to major cities. Pages and pages of new articles mentioning a similar term. LAA, formerly LAM, was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. We know now that this is Drewbert, or Andrew, Smith. And I bet I've got a picture of him. Right here. Partial wedding photo. Unfortunately, her daughter is cropped out. Lame. Well, here's Drew Smith. Wouldn't ever be easy, would it? Also, formerly LAM. Lanes Across Miami? Possibly? We'll see. Here we go, Miami. Beep, beep, beep. They now have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. Fuck, I'm so... It's right there! Chris Hemsworth, yes. Lanes Across Miami. More pictures. It narrows down the pages and pages of articles into more in-depth history about the charity. Founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Sharon and some other board members stepped down in 92 and the current leadership took over. Interesting time frame that I think is Guy Hudson's death, but we'll keep going. Full uncropped version of the same wedding photo. Sharon left LAM. They began to crop her and the rest of the wedding party out to focus solely on Drew, who's the face of the charity. Full photos been added to your inventory. Boop. Now, check this out, right? Those must be her parents. Okay, so we've got another Barbara Williams. That looks like her. Ooh, but interestingly not Frank. Oh, it's his father. Maybe. Well, she's certainly the wife. She stepped down in 92. Curious. Why would there be another man's picture that we can use? It's possible... No, it never said that they got divorced, so he must be the one who died in the accident. Then she gets remarried to Andrew Smith's brother. They look a bit alike, don't they? Okay. She was a board member in 92. But we don't know what she did after it. When did he die? 87. So she wouldn't have been that old. She probably still did something. Sharon Smith, nothing. Let's check the Miami Mercury. Oops, that is not what I had in there. Okay, or Andrew Smith. Weird. Lanes Across Miami? Really? No, nothing. Okay. No worries. Hello, Torbs Lefreux! Welcome. And Dirty D, welcome as well. Ah, yes, there was a Chris, wasn't there? History. Back at Kikiwa Falls, we'd like to know about Chris Elmsworth. Not Hemsworth. Elmsworth. Ah, yes, small town America. Did we get the, I mean, Kikiwa Falls doesn't have an archive, so it can't be searched or anything like that, but for fuck's sake, let's just search Chris Elmsworth down the list here. We can go back to the flyer for that lady's speaking tour, because I believe there's still more that we can find there. And we're still looking for a magazine in Georgia. Because that Vic Elmsworth here, all three of them contribute to Kikiwa Falls Gazette. Victor Elmsworth. Race car driver, nope. Victor Elmsworth, Miami, but probably not. I'm just going to search it. There's a third brother as well. I'm not really thinking I'll get anything from any of these. I'll stop at Portland Telegraph. Okay, history. We had Greta Jones. Fuck. And then we had this, WQTV 12. Deeper dive in a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed the news in that area. And then we did Effingham County, Georgia. What about this mixed with this? Oh, for fuck's sake! Yeah. I gotta get a magazine from this place. Not sure how yet, but I will find out. I will find out. Alright. Isabel Crosby, the superintendent of Benton County. Okay. Benton? There's a Benton County in 9 different states. There hasn't been a Benton County in Florida since 1850, so you're not sure which one Isabel County Crosby comes from. Doesn't mean anything that seems to fit what you're looking for. Which means that this is going to say the same shit. Yeah. Okay. Ah. Trying it again. Business Watch. Butler County. Chef's Signature. The Heralded. Miami Mercury. Modern Music Monthly. News Time. Pico Tea. Portland Telegraph. Fuck. Benton County. Not in Georgia. Pennsylvania. I don't know if I spelled PA right. Lived there for decades, can't spell the fucking name. Dirty Mag? Not tonight. Alright, right, what have I missed? Greta Jones is too common of a name to find anything useful. Because I need this. Springfield's the capital of Illinois, but after pursuing... Yeah, no, sorry. Not this. Okay, there. Georgia. Okay. That's great and all, but... Like, how do I... Better results. What about Springfield, Georgia? Okay. When you find your search of television in and around Springfield, you come across a website listing different channels available there. The list only features broadcasts with female news anchors. The person who runs the website is ranked each using 3 categories, none of relative to journalism. One of the entries is Channel 12. Greta Flores. Used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. Compared to the ordeal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you'd expect to find she has a website of her accomplishments. She was apparently the MC for an all-female speaking tour in 1977. Storytellers of Sisterhood, Mothers and Daughters of Earth. If you do a search for it, it seems none of the stories were compiled. Some of the stories were compiled into a book simply titled 25 Stories of Sisterhood by Ayla Hale. A-Y-L-A Hale. I was wondering when we were going to go back to the public library, because it's been like 50 fucking things. All right, Beauty Brat. One of the stories by Barb Williams has been added to your evidence. Barb Williams had the transcript of a story she told on stage, published in a book. 2 16-year-old girls. My sister Sherry was a brat. Always sulking, often disobedient, never on time. Let me just double check some shit here. Sharon. She borrowed things without asking and even ran away from home only to sneak back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter Sharon, okay, what? On the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, was intensely artistic and creative, and even volunteered in animal rescue. I bet it's the same girl. That's like the thing here. What was the difference between Sherry the brat and Sharon the beauty? Is it nature, nurture, education? Nothing. There was no difference because my sister and my daughter are the same girl. Barb reveals her daughter was the result of an unexpected pregnancy when she was 15. Met a boy at a fair. Unlike us, he lived in the nice part of town. He went to a good school. To a teenage girl, it felt like a fairy tale, but there were boxes all over his house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. The final night he surprised me. He told me he could actually see me again soon. Planned to return to visit his grandparents. Thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again. And when I finally got desperate enough to ask around, a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over. My parents took charge. I had to live at home and work a part-time job, but they removed the burden of motherhood. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. Barb used the story to come to a conclusion. When I was younger, I thought my sister was the brat, and I wasn't wrong, but she ran away from home to work at that animal shelter. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. She's a barber or a beautician. The brat and the beauty exist in all of us. My inner brat that kept me blind to the truth, and I'd like to say it's the beauty in me finally able to see what I was missing. Alright, beautician? Hairdresser? Hairdresser. Alright, Sharon Williams is a hairdresser. Andrew Smith, her husband, died in an accident. They have 2 children. So... work at that animal shelter. Interesting. Oh, Sherry's hair. There's a Sherry's hair in Orlando, Florida. The owner is a business as Sherry Yatsramiski. Okay. Definitely not a Smith. I was wrong. But I do think it might be the picture. We'll see. It's got to be somebody's picture, right? Wrong page. Style of Brittany, Christina, or even the Rachel to your door. About Sherry, very long. One paragraph with multiple run-on sentences and no pictures. You get the sense that if she were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. Her husband, Pete, was her late husband's college roommate. Got it. Yep, we knew that. Peter. Hi, Peter. And I'd like to see some of Sherry's children, please. So, for research purposes. They built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was growing beyond their ability to run it. Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Her oldest, Tony, seems to get the short end of the stick. His 2 listed accomplishments are that he's the oldest, and he's a straight A student. Mark has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently, his Little League team is nationally recognized. Oh, we're going to find out from the Little League team. Okay. Cricket, of course, is the third one, and it was Tony, so Anthony. And would it be Smith? Probably. And then we've got Mark Smith. Children. K-12. Does say straight A student. That's probably also K-12. We're going to get a bonus picture for this one. We'll say this one is Yaz. And it's Cricket. And she said 3 sons, correct? And actually, Cricket is it's a kids. Cricket York is near the end. Dedicated to her. She's an actress on a local television show. Okay, what the fuck? Hold on. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. His Little League team is nationally recognized. Maybe he's older now. We'll figure that out. Cricket York is near the end, an entire section dedicated to her. She's an actress on a local television show called... she might be a child actress. Library. From Miami to Orlando. Sherry, in addition to being hireable to come do your due, is a stylist for the show. Passage also mentions her agent recommended they change her last name to York since it's easier to pronounce. The rest of the section describes how she got the part, but it seems unimportant to your research. Okay, we've got stuff here. Let's go with that. Library is a children's show filmed at Orlando since '91. Multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Library. We'll say Library. Unlike some other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid for by donations from businesses related to education. Textbook manufacturers like this one. Tutoring companies such as EDU's C82U and a few well-known publishers of picture books. Syndicated in a few markets across the southeastern United States and New Hampshire for some reason. Most other children's entertainment, many of those that grew up with it have fond memories. It works in your favor because the show has been documented by a few fan sites. There's even a library web ring, although it only has 3 entries. You click through the sites on the ring and find that Cricket York joined the cast in '97. At the age of 5, that means she is 7 now. Still listed as a current cast member, a picture of Cricket from whatever episodes has been added to your evidence. There's Cricket, and I can't get a picture of the raccoon. Theme tackled why some people needed glasses. Alright, well, we've got Cricket. She is a actress, but also possibly student. I'm gonna go with actor, but I feel like it's fine. It might wind up being student. However, we've got even more. We've got something that I have copied and I'll use later. Edu C82U. Yay! Picture! They have a tutoring service. We have a second photo for Cricket York. Cricket and her brothers ready to learn from one of our talented tutors. Small subsection of library fans deeply unsettled by the company's logo, which would appear after the credits of each episode. One writes, I was terrified of the little girl in the EDU City, blah, blah, blah. Some kind of demon doll, and I'd race to the TV every day to switch the dial before her creepy laugh came on. Oh, I wish I could see that. All right, here's the kids. Oldest, youngest, nailed it. 4 more, 5 more. We got 5 left to go, and it's going to be hard to get these last ones. Susan Ford, also correct. Booyah. Let's get some additional photos out of the way. We know Susan looks like this. Okay, we need Susan Ford's 2 children. They're almost certainly relating to her position as principal at the school. And this. Mark Clementine, the pilot, who also is known as Crocodile Clementine. Back to the internet. Crocodile Clementine, the infamy list, known for odd crimes. Been from Los Angeles, but I do want to search Crocodile Clementine. Sorry, I didn't actually want to do Portland. But we did find this out. I wanted to look in Miami. Nothing. Okay. Let's go back here. We've almost run out of hints now that we've locked in all the infidelities on one and all the infidelities on here. We now only have a few pieces of evidence that are going to give me information. So we should hopefully be able to narrow it down by checking these pages. Susan Ford. Susan Ford moved to office staff. And no longer working as an interpreter. But something in this heap of trash should point me to her kids. Or, weirdly, the information over here. But probably not. I'm not confident on this one. Let me check the Pico T here. Page 1. One left on this. I feel like this is for her as well. What about Susie Ford? Or her maiden name? Sorry, that is her maiden name. Or Susie Hughes. Hughes. Yeah. Notable events. Alright, let's take a look here. Notable events still has a link to it as well. Alright, 6 pieces. The book. The Roottrees Rift. Clark Rafferty LaRue. Still curious about that lawyer. Miracle Roottrees publicly denied it. The Roottrees legal team offered to do a DNA test. In a moment, they caught the test proved he was a Roottrees. Suddenly, the world was obsessed with the Roottrees. Anonymom and Jane Doe Roottree. She'd slept with Guy Hudson and her daughter was a Rootree. The accusation came during the height of Roottreemania and began with a brief TV interview. News time. We got news time from this. Her daughter, Jane Doe Roottree, seemed to spring up originally. I gotta blow my nose. Hold on. Okay, back. I'm wondering if Anonymom... So I'm wondering if Anonymom is actually one of these affairs. And the child from it, a daughter, a single daughter, which only could be Min Lang, was not actually Guy Hudson's. Because, a spoiler alert, at the end of the game they say, you know, hey, you have to find out which of these is actually a blood relative, and which of them it's hard to tell. And I'm wondering if this is Anonymom, or maybe Susan Ford for that matter. But she said the 70s. And Susan Ford was in 80s. Christine Farrow only had sons. So it's possible. Or it's just not on the list. Another possibility. We'll find out, I guess. Some people even began to track down her true identity. I feel like we need to search for this. It might be in one of the periodicals. Though it's scientifically proven Jane Doe Roottrie is not a Roottrie, doesn't mean that her mother and Guy Hudson were not involved in an affair. She had every right to make her claim, as it had been verified that her stories about Guy Hudson were not exaggerations. Please leave her family alone. Secret Roottrees, 6 pieces. Jane Doe Roottrie has already been eliminated as potential new Roottrie by the company's lawyers, who are the ones verifying your work. Oh, her affair does not appear on your updated tree. Okay, never mind. Never mind. But is there something about Anonymom that might show up in a periodical? Especially maybe Picoti? Or News Time? Picoti. Here we go. Picoti is not afraid to expose details other publications would avoid. Shortly after the announcement Jane Doe Roottrie was not a Roottrie, Picoti exposed personal details about the story of Anonymom under the headline Anonymom the Anonicon. They said Anonymom worked as a manager at a department store in North Carolina. Her daughter's name was Courtney May. They also said the woman that vouched for her famous cover story, they didn't identify News Time, perhaps to avoid being sued, is named Corinne S., and that she'd filed for bankruptcy. The article speculates Anonymom and Corinne were in it together, and even speculated they might have been lovers. Picoti is not a credible publication. Their information wasn't particularly actionable. Very few people seem to care or notice, but I care, and I notice. Let's search for this. Highlight that. And we got Courtney May. Nothing relevant. Corinne S. Corinne S. Ah, fuck off. Why does it do that? I feel like maybe we've seen that name before, but I'm not sure. If we did, it would be buried here, and it might not have even been searched. Unless she shows up in one of our evidence things. God damn! Corinne Schwartz and Beatrice Watts. Corinne Schwartz, Pennsylvania. Anonymous was harassing her. She had to take a leave of absence because people showed up at the car dealership where she works. She's begging people to stop the accusations so she can get back to normal life. Every article you find the journalists involved have independently verified she is not Anonymous. But maybe she shows up in Butler County? Oh, come on. May the Schwartz be with you. Her only child is still in middle school. This is interesting. Like, why is she being brought up? It's a lot of information. The other one was something May. Courtney May. Her daughter's name was Courtney May. Nada Mom worked as a manager in an apartment store in North Carolina. Her daughter's name was Courtney May. She thought it might be Courtney May Roottrees. The woman that vouched for her famous cover story is Corianne S. Does that mean her mother would have been fired at the same time, possibly? Hold on, I'm having trouble getting back there. Beatrice Watts. There's not much area left. I guess it doesn't matter because they're not here, but why am I looking for this? This was Linda Lewis or Angelica Ingram. I'm not sure where to go from here, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm so close to the end. I just want to be done with it. Like, I'm searching up a bunch of information about someone who's been eliminated, and I have no other threads to pull on that I know of. But the fact that it's pointing me here, and the fact that Corinne Schwartz is listed... like in the 70s, I guess these other secretaries. Lisa Lewis. And then Lisa Lewis is no longer employed. Lisa Lewis. I don't know. Alright. I want a hint. I'm done looking in this fucking shit. A notorious incident. Maybe you can find out more information about it somewhere. I did. His spider search page of the incident received national press. One of your periodicals covers national news. Okay, let's check out again. Because I've already looked. National news was news time. Maybe I unlocked it after looking this up. Fight between Sims and Crocodile from a different perspective. Paint a picture of the two men involved from others who knew them best. Okay, here we go. Sim's wife Clara, as well as multiple staff members at his school, they hunted down Colleen Webb, Mark's ex-wife. Perfect. Colleen Webb. Okay. According to the section of Colleen, she and he met when he worked for an airline. She worked in an airport newsstand. He was a drinker and often had wild mood swings. This might come in importantly, but I don't think it would. Assault of a fellow pirate in 75, and lost his job. They divorced. At the time, she was pregnant with their second daughter. She felt she needed to get out before things got worse. She left him and moved to San Diego to live with her sister, told her oldest that her dad had to fly planes for the army. She raised them both by herself, although she never went through the trouble of changing their names legally. They used the Webb name so that no one would connect them to her ex-husband. Okay, they're both Webb. Okay. Carla Sims as well. And then she moved to San Diego. All right. I'm going to search real quick. I do not expect to see shit for Colleen Webb. And it's been so long. Maybe I could just search for Webb in the Portland Telegraph? No. In other sources, okay. Billy Sims incident. Yeah. Croc Watch. Good friend Claude Clementine was actually in attendance at the high school graduation because his daughter was walking the stage. He's apparently not allowed to attend his ex-wife at his training order, but did so anyways. Security guard recognized him. Sims took place. What will Croc get up to next? Stay tuned for Croc Watch. Unfortunately for your investigation, as far as you can tell, there are no more instances of Croc Watch. What about Picoting? Yep, more details. All right. Billy Sims was arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company that was found to be testing their products on animals. Animal shelter. That whole thread was done, though. According to police paperwork, Crocodile Clementine's bail was paid for by Tosarito Jacobson. It was fairly expensive. Other students were found, if anyone knew anything, were going around that Mark Clementine showed up because his daughter Mary was graduating that night. Mary Webb. Well, possibly here, too. I'll put Mary Webb as both. We'll figure it out. And this is probably all fucking wrong, too. All right. Now, we've got Tosarito Jacobson. Fuegos Fiesta! A regional Mexican fast food chain held a competition in '93 that offered free meals for life to anyone that legally changed their name to Tosarito. The Tosarito was a burrito with a cylindrical tostada and a shell inside the flour tortilla. According to a few sources, Tosarito Jacobson used to be named Lucinda. Lucinda Jacobson. Lucinda Jacobson. Jacobson. Edith Jacobson. Edith's sister Lucinda. Remember she did that thing where she pretended to be crippled? Recruit's very important. I missed all this shit. There's a bet in Georgia. Damn, Brandon was on top of this shit. Jacobson. Well, let's see if Lucinda Jacobson shows up anywhere else. Butler County Times. It's an old one. There's a Crime Blotter article about Edith Jacobson that also mentions Helen Roottrees and Lucinda Jacobson. When she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County. They're pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get to the room where the church houses their weekly tithings. The church didn't press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottrees, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. Helen Roottrees was quoting, saying, "Jesus forgives and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways. I'm confident he has brought these two young women to us for a greater purpose." Okay, but that's not... All right, here's the rub though, right? If Lucinda Jacobson, Edith Jacobson's sister, knew about Crocodile Clementine, Mark Clementine, then they knew this shit was happening. They knew about Miracle, the senior's affair, about the two children. She paid for his bail. Let's go the rest of the way. I don't know if we're going to find more. Yeah. Shift signature? Nope. Fuegos Fiesta. Not really helping me. Billy Sims was arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company that was found to be testing the products on animals. can search for Mary Webb. Under all the things. Because I remember it saying that. No, I don't remember. Fucking not hitting anywhere there either. Boo! Yeah, I already have it. I did search for Mary Webb. I swear I searched. Did I not just do a web search for her name? I mean, I must not have because I didn't get this fucking information. God damn it. Damn it! I thought I did! Fuck, I looked at the periodicals. Web on the web. Apparently a personal traveler diary, also doubles an advertiser for her travel agency. Okay, she's a travel agent. Boom. Probably just got a picture of her as well. There she is. Web on the web. Okay. Tell me more. Book flights and cruises. Extremely niche audiences. #1 agent when it comes to booking spiritual vacations aboard ghost ships and specific hotel rooms said to be haunted. Dedicated section for more traditional modern cruises that cater to specific groups such as fans of boy bands. In the diary entry, she talks about trips she's personally taken, such as excursion, ghost ships, ships, hotels, landmarks. Marry yourself with the ship in the background. She was allowed onto the ship on a port day in San Diego with a professional photographer she knows. But who? Photos been added to evidence. I can't put this in both, can I? God damn it. Might be the younger one. I mean, great, but now I'm stuck again. I have to hit hints. Paranormal travel agency has a lead. Does it really? The photo has a lead. It doesn't say that it does, so that's kind of rude. Corporate composition photography. It does say that up there. Smart. All right. To find out the photographer she knows. Probably her sister. No longer exists. IRC chat logs. Val, the former head photographer, did a Q&A with their users about taking pictures for promotional materials. Most of the questions answered were pretty technical. They not only seem irrelevant, but generally go over your head. One of the questions, however, mentions Val was on the cover of Telephoto and asks about a rock. The question was quickly shut down by the person running the Q&A, who said Val does not wish to answer any questions from his photojournalism days, nor does he wish to talk about LBP. LBP. Alright, let's talk about Telephoto. It's a photography magazine! Holy shit. And we've discovered every periodical. I got a cheat for that. Sorry. It was, highlights, please. Oh my god, I've got so many highlights. Oh, Jesus. LBP. My bad. Lebanese pound, the lira, lower back pain, lead-based paint, low blood pressure. Here, Louisiana Board of Pharmacy or Long Beach Peninsula. Some businesses have the acronym LBP. Lynch Building Plastics, Luxury Bridal Photography, Lexington Business Payroll, Lincoln Baby Photography, Laura's Bras and Panties, Logline Books and Publishing. I don't know. I bet it's one of these. But we're talking about a rock. Logline Books and Publishing, maybe? Small publisher in California, limited edition, runs on movie scripts. None of their books seem related. One of them is a big screen adaptation of the public game Fog. Video game where the protagonist. Oh my god! Micro filches. Bring back jigsaw puzzle pieces in different eras. Is this a real game? I have no idea. Trust the Dragon. Tasty snack. Major spoilers. The player decides to feed the dragon. Turns out they're actually the snack. Fog is a masterpiece. Become your universe. No resemblance to any other game that has ever been released, past or present. Jesus Christ. It's children. Not my wife. If it was my wife, I'd have to go right away. But, it's only 9 o'clock. I didn't expect it to be here that early. Nope, it's 9 o'clock, so all the children's fucking, times are up on their phones and iPads, and I just want to, yes, so they'll stop bugging me. That seems poopy, so let's go back. Logline Books and Publishing. Yeah, limited edition runs of movie scripts. Oops. So is photographer not an option? No idea. We're lost again. Long Beach Peninsula, probably not. Nothing relevant. Lynch Building Plastics. Actually, that might. Nope. Luxury Bridal Photography. No. Unlikely. Nick Luxury. Michael Luxury. Nothing relevant. Lexington Business Payroll. Lincoln Baby Photography, another photography website. Okay, here we go. Lincoln Baby Photography seems like a solid lead. It mentions Val, an award-winning photographer. It's a business in Beacon, New York. On the site, a picture of a baby and a camera caption with Cam Lincoln reaching for his namesake. I guess he takes after his father, Val. Cam Lincoln. The bottom of the website says copyright 1998, 1999. Val Web. Alright. Oop. Cam Lincoln. Okay, so Val's the husband. Unknown daughter named Webb. Unknown job. Baby. Cam Lincoln. How about Val Lincoln? The only Val Lincoln ever web presence is Valerie Lincoln, a realtor in Michigan. As far as you can tell, no connection. Check the periodicals, especially Telephoto. Here we go. Val Lincoln was featured in Telephoto. The cover, which featured one of his photos, as well as portions of the article, have been added to your evidence. Up. Into the Storm, Val Lincoln's War on War. So, Val is a woman. I'm sorry, no, it's not. Okay, hold on. This is his wife. Maybe. Val got a start in high school, blah, blah, blah. Couldn't decide what he wanted to do. Thought it would be the best career in the world to shoot for Playboy. Knack for it, began to skip lunch to free periods, spend more time in the darkroom. He tried to pivot to landscape photography, but didn't have the passion for it. I work better when trying to tell a story of a person or an object. He got lucky. A photography mentor was overseas, war chance on him. After Warzone for no pay, but he plane tickets, all meals, even pulled some strings so I can rush my passport. For someone that never had a real job or even left California, it was a hell of a break. I was 19 at the time. One thing. Lisa Clementine, who lost an arm. Lisa. Now, it said that she named her daughters Webb to keep him away from him, but maybe Lisa was Clementine. But we're going to go ahead and leave it as Webb. We could switch it if we don't get what we need at the end. She lost an arm at Operation Desert Saber. Women were not subject to direct combat. Lisa was in a vehicle, had to be over, partially destroyed, hit by a landmine. That photo won me an award and got me into your magazine and led to my engagement. She agreed to become Mrs. Lincoln. Okay. Lisa Webb. Military. Mary Webb, travel agent. Lisa Webb, military. Val Lincoln, photographer. Baby Lincoln, cam. Colleen Webb. All this is done. Now, where the fuck are your kids, Susan? God! This did not give me shit. Let's talk, now that we have even more magazines. Business Watch, no. Butler County Times, no. Chef's Signature, no. The Heralded, no. Miami Mercury, no. Pico Tea, no. It's not fucking there. Telephoto, no. Okay. We know that it goes back to the name of the fucking... Okay. All the evidence I have left remaining, all of it, except for that one there, is about her, right? It's about Susan Ford. Okay? And she worked with a thing at the end of this document, the donation for Grandorf Dove. The Grandorf School for the Deaf. It's in Butler County. Used to be in Butler County. But now it's in Pennsylvania and Ohio. Periodicals. Butler County School for the Deaf. I can't believe I never Googled that. I can't believe I never searched for that in the fucking periodical. That's ridiculous. Fuck! Well, I'm glad I did it without spending a hint, because it's probably going to show her damn kids. There they are. She's got twin girls. Ford twins were used as a nationwide study of how allergies and other diseases affects twins differently. The twin on the left is holding an inhaler, and the twin on the right is holding an EpiPen. We don't know their names yet, but we have their pictures. Nationwide study. Let's check news time, and then let's check Ford twins. Okay, I want to keep searching for the School of the Deaf. I'm not expecting, though, to find it fucking anywhere in this. Pico T. No. Actually, why don't we do spider search for Ford twins? You're making me angry. I don't know the fucking information you're looking for. Getting so close. She killed them and buried them in the garden. Oh my god. Fuck. Ford twins. Telephoto. News time. Pico T. Fuck you. Fuck you, buddy. Yeah, okay, I got that. We know that shit. It just hasn't locked in yet. It's fine. Notable events. Susan locked in yet? I don't... Yeah, I did lock in Susan. So why is notable events still have fucking anything? I don't know. I don't know what to look for to get this more information about this, but we're so close. Like, we were just there, right? Like, you feel like it would be something that we just got. You know, it says Ford twins. Boo. Oh, it does say Ford sisters here. Did I not read this? I got the... Okay, whatever. Let's go here. Ford sisters. 2 different genetic issues. I didn't read this. That's so weird. Allergy to peanuts. Mrs. Susie Ford. Any sets of twins where one was born deaf and the other was not. She didn't have any twins attending her school. She asked her daughters, Melissa and Heather. I'm fucking stupid. Okay. Melissa, we'll say Ford, and Heather. Sorry. Heather. And they're both students. We'll say K-12. Okay, and then one's holding an EpiPen and one's holding an inhaler. Let's see if it mentions which is which here. They couldn't be more different. My youngest, we called her that even though she's only by about 15 minutes is shy, but hasn't stopped running from the moment she learned to scamper. Asthma has kept her sister off the soccer field, but she's the definition of extrovert, as even performing in a local production of Is There Life After High School later this year. Copy. Okay. The one with the inhaler is going to be the actress. And it was 99, so that's not that old. They're both students. If you couldn't tell by now, the game designer, Jeremy Johnson, was a musical theater for all 4 years of high school. The keyword the Butler County Times article was local. Sometimes it's just tongue-in-cheek with this. Heather Ford is the one with asthma. And which one did she say was younger? Hasn't stopped running for the moment. Okay, so the younger one is the one with the EpiPen, and that's Melissa. I think we're done here. The older one is Heather. I did that part without any hints. I'm so happy. Okay. Fine. Instead of Lisa Webb, it's Lisa Clementine. Picture wrong? I think I may have put this wrong backwards. No, it was Melissa that was younger. Right? Again, my youngest is shy but hasn't stopped running. Asthma kept her sister off the soccer field. So the older one has asthma. The younger one has the EpiPen. The one with asthma is the one named Heather, who is in the theater. The other one is Melissa. They are either named Ford or Hughes. And legally, they might be named Hughes, even though she calls them Ford. Fuck! What am I missing, you twat? All right. What's wrong here? You know Lisa Clementine's occupation. You could probably place her on the tree. Yeah, I fucking did. She's right fucking here, and she's in the military. Was in the military. She lost her arm in Iraq. So she's probably no longer in the military, but she probably still works. You know what, though? Honestly, I could brute force this shit. She's not an actor, advertising, architect, artist, author, baby, cashier, CEO, chef, comedian. She's not in construction, although that would be interesting if she was, because she could work for this guy's fucking thing. who hires vets to do construction. She's not a dancer, director, doctor, driver, farmer, firefighter, hairdresser, housewife, interior design, lawyer, manufacturing, mechanic, media mogul, was military, model, musician, news anchor, nurse, pilot, cop, politics, preacher. She's certainly not the president of Roottrees, principal, pro athlete, professor, public speaker, retail, screenwriter. She's not a secretary, and she's not a travel agent. She's in the military. What, the penis? Lisa Lincoln. She runs a support group for fellow veterans in Beacon, New York. She's listed as a professor at West Point. What's annoying is that I put that shit and it didn't clear, which means that something else on this fucking list is wrong. And it's got to be here. Are they in college now? What is happening? I thought that I did! Is she also actually Clementine instead of Webb? Eat my shiny metal ass. What's happening? Ducky, you're betraying me. You can fill in Susan Ford's daughters now. I did! Fine. Now they're in college. Now they're doctors. No, that was from earlier this year! I don't understand! Why are you being a shit, Duck? Because I changed it to Hughes because of that shit. Sometimes this game... like, I'm trying to fix shit. Fuck! Alright, there. Christ. Like, I'm like, okay, everything's correct. I've written it down 50 times. The Ford sisters. I changed it to Hughes because I wasn't allowed to finish. Because apparently, Lisa changed into a professor. And Mary was actually Clementine. Even though it said that she was using the name Webb. But whatever, it's fine. We got it! Legal names and all that. That's everybody. Chat.
Hi again. I know you probably thought you were done.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
Again. Also, there's something really strange happening. I can't explain it.
Neither of us can.
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach. I just have a feeling. Clark?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring me things.
Just skip to the important part.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's. Bonnie is Guy's sister. She'd sent us her hair to test potential Roottrees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's. But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. Especially right before we began testing the tree you provided. When I asked, she told me she thought the samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place. She seemed so knowledgeable. I don't like it. You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on. You have an eye for anomalies. We need you to find the smoking guns.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a Roottree,
Or any you've got definitive evidence are Roottrees, then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
Okay. What the hell? Okay. All right, this is quite a curveball, and I feel like we need some information. Smoking guns found 4 of 4, 6 pieces. One of Sam's farm supervisors was Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter Sam never met, yada, yada, yada. According to Elizabeth, caterer from local restaurant Antonelli's met her daughter at Guy's party. They eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware the party was for swingers. Rumor has it her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't feel comfortable switching partners. Guy's main positive contribution... Okay, so I feel like, and we've... Smoking guns found 4 of 4. Diary cruelty. Frank Wildcat Williams. And Bess Williams. Oh, I see. So these are the smoking guns relating to this. Right? So if I close that and I go to, say, David Fellows, here's his smoking guns. There's clues I haven't found? What the fuck? Okay, we know that he's a Roottrie blood relative. Unless Ruby Spratt was faking the evidence. Because Ruby Spratt has always been very critical of wealth inequality. What the fuck? Okay, nodal lead start here. DNA test. Okay, holy shit. I don't know that I can find a bunch of clues. I've already searched the fuck out of everything that I possibly could. And yet there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fucking clues that I haven't found. Yes. Okay. Anything else you need? Great. I thought I'd be done with this game, but now it's got this whole other thing. Whoever calls dollars the root of all evil, just trying to make small pursuits of real people, your silver spoon feeds of the world's purest treacle, while real world folks burn their spoons for the needle. Oh, Lord. According to Clark, Ruby Spratt, the company's lawyer, was caught throwing away the DNA samples from Bonnie Hudson. These were intended to be used to test new potential Roottrees. Something doesn't sit right with Sam, and the two of them ask for your help. They're hoping that with your evidence and understanding of the family tree, you could verify which people on the dotted boxes are almost certainly legitimate Roottrees, very unlikely to be legitimate Roottrees, and which of them are too ambiguous to make a decision one way or another. Additionally, with the suspicion on Ruby Spratt, it's possible that some of her behaviors in the past have also been cast into doubt. A new section of the tree has been added for you to fill in. Inconsistencies. Filling in this person is optional. Now's the time to review all possible Roottrees and input your deductions. You have 13 possible Roottrees left to identify. Yeah. Okay. I'm feeling quite confident about this one. We got all the stuff here about Bess Williams and Frank. He's definitely a blood relative. An affair with Elias. She never remarried. She never had another husband. He was orphaned. I'm pretty sure that everyone in his tree is related to the Roottrees. I would be quite confident on that one. Now, we know Miracle and Mary Beth Quaker had a thing, and Regina Salazar believes that her husband was a Roottree, but I don't think he was. I think the timeline didn't add up on that. Mary Beth Clementine, she adopted 2 children in the late 1940s, Stuart and Mark. In 1959, it surfaced that she'd been twice divorced to her manager Sterling. It ended her career. She passed away in 1994 at 76. 1942 and 1959. And if we go back to the Butler County Times, she's mentioned 2 times. The first visit was in 1949. Okay. Her second visit was in 1953. Mentions that her first visit was a big success. Unusual circumstances of her second son's adoption prevented her from touring recently. 1949. I mean, if it were January 1949, she had an affair, got pregnant, had the baby, and adopted him in late 49. That's consistent with the 40s comment here. Late 40s, Stuart and Mark. But Mark, Stuart, if we look at, oh my God, because one of our initial things here is not this. This is something else. It was something that Sam got. Regina Clementine. Her husband, police, estranged, 30s and 50s, Butler County, photo to prove who she's attaching the email. They show me a photo to prove that she's who she says she is. Right, so the photo of them singing. She was specifically there to detail her experience going through the system to adopt Stuart. That's her first time. Yes, so Stuart is not a Rootree, but Mark most certainly is. The basket baby of 1950 left a baby on her doorstep, adopted him without question, raised him as her own. This is a cover story. From context, you know it's Mary Beth Clementine who would be later shunned to her personal life and her son Mark, yada, yada, yada. Toaster Rita Jacobson specifically bailed him out because they knew he was related to them. Mark Clementine is a blood relative, as are all of his children. Let's talk about Anonymom. We were looking through Anonymom a lot. We did a lot of research on Anonymom. One of my favorite moms. And what we found was Corianne Schwartz. Oh my God, there's pictures. Okay. It's 9:30. I'm thirsty. I gotta go grab myself another drink of water. I can't have any more alcohol because I'm a designated driver. I'm gonna step away for a couple of minutes, take care of chickens, dogs, that sort of thing. We'll be back, hopefully, to finish this. But now there's a lot more to do. God, it's so hard. I'll be right back. Okay, hold on. Oh, here's Slippy's bandit wearing a jockstrap terrorist painting sculpture. Slippy, I think you have some explaining to do, man. Oh shit! Oh, it's getting away! Don't cut the net, cut the rope! Oh my God, the pirates are shooting me! The fuck? Oh my fucking God. Jesus. The fuck? Actual murder? In this children's game about killing fish? Hey, thanks for the donation, Froslow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Alright, seriously though, what else do I need to figure out here? Here's the conquer spot, right? Okay. But if I take 2 steps out, it's gonna go... Nice.
Hey, I'm gonna die now.
Why are you gonna die?
Because I gotta fight a bunch of people.
Oh.
Whoa! That just scared me. Skeleton just lunged me across the map.
I did not expect to hit you. I am so sorry.
I was... Aw, and lightning struck right there. I hate you.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Oh my God, I thought the skeleton hit me that far because he started sword lunging at me.
Alright, let's try.
That was nice.
So
look, the point was, is if this goes down again and we just stop the stream and stuff, we're not gonna go back. We're gonna go on our room and we're gonna do the covers and we're gonna turn on Lucifer.
Lucifer is our word for Lucifer, a TV show where the devil solves crimes.
Have y'all seen Lucifer? Oh my God, I love this show. And the guy who plays Lucifer, he's perfection.
Really?
Really.
What about all those guys from Vampire Show?
No, the only ones I like are the British ones. I like a good
She has a type, and it's not
Are there any British men out there?
balding, fat American. Dirty D is from Britain.
Oh, you're from. Do you have an accent?
Oh my.
Can I hear it?
Wow. Drink more wine, why don't you? And hit on my stream regulars.
Yeah. Ain't
It's
no-
fine. We have a very comfortable relationship. No, nobody specifically doing a task. Oh! 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 It's dark green! Oh, it's dark green! Mr. Fantastic! You dirty murderer! You. Oh my god, that was amazing. Oh.
So I know. I'm gonna have to rewatch it. What is your defense, Dark Green?
Oh.
Show us your defense. What is your defense?
I believe his defense was I thought the lights were off.
So I know. That's not a good defense.
Who's got this fucking chest?
Who knows?
If you can get close enough, I can poon this asshole. We can take the
Yeah.
chest.
Go past him. Kind of circling him now. Gotta be dead with that.
Glorious!
Get on harpoon. Get on harpoon.
We got the points for it too, man. He is dead. I got it! Fuck yeah!
Alright, turn in.
You got it, man. Holy shit, that was legendary.
That was a one-of-a-kind play right fucking there.
Damage. Let me fix it up. It's already breaking. It's gonna fucking be broken soon. It's gonna blow soon. Shit. Wow. Oh my god, I lost it already. In less than like a minute, they got anti-tank guns. This fort is extremely flammable.
Oh shit, I got disconnected.
Uh-oh. You're gonna be like 20th in queue. There's a lot of veterans trying to get back in.
Oh really?
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
I was, so...
Can you do me a favor? Can you go towards spawn and check for end crystals? I got a Fourth Reich member. I literally got disconnected right in front of them, so I want to make sure they're not trying to trap the area. Could you do that for me?
Yeah, I'll be
Thank
right
you.
over there. Let me just, make some...
It's just this one guy. Looks like he's only got a rifle. I only have about 11 rounds on me. We got a shit ton. We'll give you some.
There's like 4 of them in the trench. They just threw a gas. Oh god, I've got gas! Oh no! I died from gas. That might mean they can grab the tank. Rip. Here's the rooms. a choppy start, but I think that we've finally gotten over. You could not have planned that better. Fucking. I didn't even finish the fucking sentence. And the game. Oh my god, Game of the Year 2023. Oh my. Oh. Oh. That's fucking amazing. Oh. Alright, we're back. I hope you're here, because I've got some theories. Okay, so for starters, my initial thoughts about moving from the family tree, trying to find out who is who on the tree, so that we could determine. Curious. Do we think that these are not Gwen's children? Ron and Robert Roottree are not Roottrees? Holy shit. Okay, let's I think we're not going to finish tonight. I think we are less than half done. Or maybe a little more than half done, because this shit just got a whole new level of wild. Let's talk. So, initially my thoughts about this game and about the story it was telling was about the harm caused by the infidelities that the Roottrees performed, while simultaneously putting forward this American family, all-American values. Even as far back as Elias Roottree, who was, the family man, according to his mistress's book. He ostracized one of his children for being homosexual, and his initial infidelity caused people pain. It's all about the damage these people have done to innocent children, in the most part. This kid grew up an orphan because he was the product of a infidelitous relationship, and quite possibly Elias knew about it and kept it a secret while he, formed his own construction company after being in war, etc., etc. His daughter had a child at 15, possibly because of the lack of a full, normal family values lifestyle. Some of the things obviously are not directly related to them, but certainly Mark Clementine's horrible life of crime and having his body bitten by an alligator or crocodile or whatever. It was an alligator. There are no crocodiles in fucking... I don't think there's any crocodiles on that side of the state, so I don't know what the fuck. But I didn't read it well enough, apparently. From Miracle, who, is a preacher and preaching about God's wrath and all that shit, and ignoring his gay brother, ignoring Sam's legal right to the thing, while simultaneously having an affair with a musician, causing her divorce, causing her children to doubt whether or not their father was in fact Miracle Roottree or Edsel Sterling. The crime, all of this, all these problems. Her going to war, losing an arm, is because she thought he was a fighter pilot. Because her mother told her that, because she didn't want her to know the truth about what a messed up freak he was. All of the horrible things that happened because of Guy Hudson's infidelity. The first girl, drug overdose, I believe it was, killed herself. Christine Farrow's rush to get married and such. Because she already had a child. Thankfully, her husband, Stephen, understood and was supportive. Susan Ford's divorce, because potentially, not certainly, but potentially her children were from Guy Hudson instead of her husband, Tom. This, not too bad, honestly. But all of that is because of the lies, the hypocrisy that these people performed. That's what I thought the story was about. But now we're learning that their lawyer, who Ruby Spratt, is possibly a villain in this story. That she's falsifying DNA evidence, perhaps working with David Fellows, a musician. Even though Guy Hudson did have an affair with Joanna Robertson, there's a lot of information that I do not have yet. Apparently Anonymom has something to do with this. That maybe the timeline doesn't add up, and he's not Guy Hudson's son. But Ruby Spratt worked with him to devise a way to get him into the Roottrees Trust, the Clansed Trust, to make money that they could split because they don't like the wealthy. And she didn't realize, in coming up with this plan about the infidelity, that she would bring all these other people out of the woodwork in Roottreemania, trying to get a piece of that pie as well. And that's not what she wanted. So when Anonymom came out and said, hey, that story's the same as mine, I have a daughter that I'm pretty sure is Guy Hudson's daughter, she faked a false negative in order to keep her out of the Clansed Trust. And she's going to do the same to everyone else here, because she and David Fellows are in cahoots. Now, that's just my theory. I've got to prove it, and I've got about an hour left to do it or so before my wife says, hey, come pick us up. So let's see what we can figure out. Oh, Rubber Ducky, you sick bastard. Maybe I stopped digging at the David Fellows tree here because I felt like I had all the information I needed. But maybe there's more stuff to search for. Company records. We know specifically Joanna Fellows left in 1977. When Christine Farrow got married to Stephen Garland. But Joanna Fellows in 1977 and Beth Knox are no longer employed by Roottrees. We need to find... Okay. I don't know if I want to start with him or start with this section here, because we have some of this information. We just don't have pictures yet. 10 possible Roottrees left to identify. You don't have any portraits. Okay. Think. All these are wiped except for this here. There's apparently one thing left here that we didn't look for. I don't know why. 5 Ps. Root of all evil. All your problems. First and only single released. Celebrity lawyer Stevie Whitlock. The 12-inch sub thing. None of this seems related to the Roottrees, yeah. Now that we have additional periodicals, we could, for example, look in, well, we could check all these for the name of All Your Problems. But it would be in Modern Music Monthly? I feel like not, because that was an old... And we could search all the fucking shit here. News Time. Yeah, I don't know that it would be there. Felix Fellows. Team Blast. 5 Ps. Yeah. Hunky Hotties. His real name, David, and his birthday is February 9th, 1977. Okay? And he grew up in foster care in Portland. It's not possible he was born in 77, as he claimed in a song called 17 Magazine that he turned 17 in 92. They've reached out to his agent asking about the song. We're told it wasn't performed by 5Ps and they shouldn't print rumors. Here it is. Right? Here's the lie coming unraveled. 17 Magazine. Spider Search. Song by Dirty Davy. Many different connections with the number 17, mostly violent. Davy's 17th birthday, fictional but glorified series of murders, a fashion show for a teenage magazine with a similar name to the song title. 17 Magazine. Hold on. Let me go back here. Oh, fuck! I didn't... Ah! Fuck! Right. Did a major acts of gun violence in schools early this year and subsequent backlash against violent movement, poor taste bringing out trolls morbidly curious. Birth name David Fellows. Dirty Davy was 5P's previous stage name. Old mixtapes on auction sites. One is Dirty Devil and another is Dirt Poor. Dirty Devil was 5P's first mixtape released as Dirty Davy in the early 90s. There's discrepancies and debates about what year it exactly was released based on some of the pop culture references, with this range can be anywhere between 92 and 94. One of the songs, Yes I Can Jump, seems to be at the center of the confusion. Fan sites claim there are multiple versions with different track lists and song lengths on them, though that's verified little evidence mixtape. Hard to verify that information. Yes I Can Jump was a song that's on 5P's mixtape Dirty Devil. It seems to be the only song that didn't make it onto his studio album that people thought it should have. In it, he references a popular movie from 92 called White Men Can't Jump. The reference caused confusion among the fan base. Because of it, it's agreed that the mixtape had to come out in 92 at the earliest, but others point out Fellows' references seeing the movie on his 17th birthday. This would have been in 94, because he's lying about his age. Welcome to Burninator. It's a great game. Unfortunately, I'm solving all of it for you. But if you want to play it, you could probably do the first part, or you could just watch all my VODs. I've done quite a few of them on this game. We're very close to the end of the bonus content. So it's fucking great, honestly. Some take this to mean the album had to have been released in 94 at the earliest. Others claim he was likely just trying to make himself sound older, since in response to some of the more questionable lyrics, he stated multiple times when he was a dumb kid when it was released. I mean, I could search for White Men Can't Jump, but I have a feeling yeah, it's just the same fucking thing. Do we have some more of your smoking guns now? We found quite a few more, yeah. But there's something we still haven't gotten, including, I think, something from these... I think it's another magazine. We'll find it. I think it has to do with... oops. This. Either his original name is Dirty Davy, or the album Dirty Devil. We're going to go through all of them with both. Something is going to pop up here. And it's going to give me more evidence that he is not actually a Rootree. That he's 2 years too late. His mother quit, or was fired, or whatever, being the secretary 2 years before he was born. Okay, not spotting it here. Dirty Davy. Oh, here we go. Portland Telegraph. Dedication ceremony for the local Portland landmark called the Fountain of the Youths. Mayor of Portland made a speech, and there were performances by multiple entertainers, as well as ribbon cuttings from the people most instrumental in bringing the fountain to fruition. Performers and speakers, with the exception of the mayor, were foster care alumni, and most of them grew up together as close friends, because David Fellows was in the same foster care facility that Ruby Spratt was. That's where they met, and that's where they concocted this plan. Dirty Dave is listed as one of the musicians. Foster Fountain was originally conceived by Ruby Spratt, an alumni of the foster care system. We have 2 left. And I don't know where we're going to find those clues, but I think it's important, though. I think we have enough information here that Joanna Fellows left in 1977. Okay? And if we go back here, that's because she married Riley Fellows. And he was... Okay. His 17th birthday was in 1992. If we do the math, 2 would be 1990, and he's 15. 10 years would be 1980, and he's 5. 5 years would be 1975. Okay, am I wrong? 1975. If that was his birthday. $1975. She would have still been working at the company. Oh. No. She would have been Joanna Robertson. And it said that the affairs was 75. Maybe it does line up? Okay, let me zip around here because that was not the only mention of his birth date, and I want to see if the other one 94, hold on. Here, okay, so it's agreed a mixtape had to come out in 92 at the earliest, but others point that Fellows references seeing the movie on his 17th birthday. This would have been 1994. So this one, it says he was 17 in 94. Had to be released in 94 at the earliest. Others claim that he was likely just trying to make himself sound older in response to some of the more questionable lyrics. 92. Seeing the movie on his 17th birthday. This would have been in 1994. So 77 would have been his birth. respective clients provided accurate samples. However, it's the lawyers who, well, Ruby Spratt specifically, who corrupted the sample by throwing away Bonnie Hudson's hair. Mother was Zach Morden's secretary when he retired, and then Guy Hudson's secretary for 1 or 2 weeks after that before she quit. The company records state that Guy Hudson replaced Zach Morden in 1978. But the Joanna Robertson had already become Joanna Fellows in 76 and quit in 77. So it doesn't line up. I think it's safe to say that with all the inconsistencies with the theory that he's working with Ruby Spratt, David Fellows is not a Rootree, and I think that's the big thing here. Although I'm not really sure. No, I'm pretty sure though. Scholarships thing kept coming up too. Okay. Stopping there for a second. I want to go back here because we want to figure out everything we know about Anonymom. We had found some stuff about it. And it started about here. Okay. So Jane Doe Rootree was Anonymom's daughter. We found Pico T was willing to mention that her daughter's name was Courtney May. So Courtney May is a possible Rootree. We have very little to go on there, but we'll see what we can figure out. The woman that vouched for her famous cover story is named Corianne S. We know that it's Schwartz, and that she filed for bankruptcy. They were in on it together, and they may have been lovers. It's not a credible publication. And I don't believe that they were lovers. I think that's just something that Pico T made up. But Corianne Schwartz, journalist involved, independently verified she's not an Anonymom. She worked at a car dealership. But that's... this information makes me wonder. No, no. And the pictures. That's the weirdest part. She shows up here. Son's gestation 10 years. Corianne could not have been potential. Yep. Then we moved on from it and went to Billy Sims. But there was more information there that we missed. Anonymom. Alright, News Time will definitely run an article. How did I not get this? The first and only mention of the phrase Anonymom in News Time came the week after when they issued an apology for featuring her in the first place. Somewhere the initial cover has been added. So, let's go to the picture, please. Fuck! Ugh, it's blurred out! Blonde girl. I mean... It's fine, whatever. Anonymous woman appeared on the cover of News Time shortly after 5Ps. Hold up a photo of her daughter. Unlike 5Ps, she wished to remain anonymous. Both photos were obscured. Anonymous woman claimed to have had an affair with Guy Hudson while she was working as a secretary. She and another woman were hired at the same time. Piece of cake. We know the other woman's Corianne S. Therefore, if I go back to my evidence, Corianne Schwartz was hired with Beatrice Watts. Okay. Beatrice Watts. I don't know what she does now, but she was a secretary. Sadly, we're not allowed to click the blurred out pictures to use them. I'm lost again. More information. During a transition period, while many of the secretaries that had worked under Zach Morton were already gone, she says that she and the other woman were both underqualified as neither had typewriter experience. According to other staff members interviewed, Guy had his own requirements for hiring women, i.e. loose. Lavish parties. More excuses. Anonymous woman posits these parties mostly were excused to have after parties at Guy's home featuring much more alcohol and other substances. She slept with him at one of these after parties, confronted Guy when she found out she was pregnant. Guy didn't seem fazed, and they came to an arrangement. He paid her a significant amount of hush money on a recurring basis under the table. She used it to move away and start a new life with her daughter. When Guy died, the money stopped coming, and she assumed things had run their course. She went back to work at the department store, so she's in retail, and hoped that no one would ever look too closely at how she paid for her house. She told everyone that her daughter's father walked out one day and she never came back. She claimed after seeing the fantastic article in News Time, she realized she wasn't the only one this happened to. While she never worked at the Roottrees company at the same time as 5P's mother, Joanna, their stories seemed eerily similar, and she knew Felix was telling the truth right away. He wasn't. He lied. Article presented no tangible evidence of the anonymous woman's time at Roottrees, and all the payments were allegedly made in cash. However, using details that she provided to News Time, the reporters were able to reach out to the other woman hired at the same time, B. Butterscotch. Fuck. And that means Joanna J is not, because Guy knew who his kids were. Which women. Okay, we'll get back to this. I hope you guys have been paying attention. I'm just shouting, Butterscotch! And you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? Wild pubic hair in her face, goddamn. That's where they first shagged. The reporters were able to reach out to the other woman hired at the same time, who wished to remain anonymous. They successfully fact-checked the timeline and confirmed the existence of the infamous after-parties. 5P's case was strengthened, and the news story was secretly published. Yes. Butterscotch, these payments for the development of flavors... Fuck me, I cannot ever get to where I want to go because I'm too goddamn stupid. Stopped $10,000 a month. For strawberry, for Ziga, for caviar, for butterscotch. SXBC. Okay? Not Joanna, because she didn't have his child. This is bullshit. C, Christine, caviar. X, Xingyu. S, Sonia. And also B, butterscotch, Beatrice. Poor lady knew that it was his daughter, and the lawyer faked the evidence. Okay. I think that confirms all the other affairs as well, personally. I mean, if I look here, company records, hanging with the Hans, Business Watch. I'm convinced that was correct. Now here, this is difficult. The older brother, James Garland, I'm pretty sure is, because that's the bun in the oven one. But the younger brother, Robert, is not. He is genuinely Steven's son. That's my guess. In the end, instead of wallowing in the present, they worked together to shape the future. They twisted and entwined their doughs and baked them as one. Thus is born the plated loaf, the king's decree, royal parchment, yada yada yada. The days baking together traveled for 45 years and settled down for 15 more. Their souls were golden, no regrets. Lastly, baking 45 minutes. He did not predicament, miss the final chance to pick together while I'm let me go to the other thing here. Steve Garland's mentioned a couple of articles. 78. Cookbook. Sued by former Butler County resident.
When did cats help people find
Mark Zimmer. 6 pieces. Yeah, caterer, local, met her daughter at one of Guy's parties. Due to pregnancy, they eloped quickly. She didn't like other partners. We knew that. Chef signature. Friday. Robert is 3 years younger than James. Okay. Christine Farrow would have had to have worked with Guy for 3 years in order to have made both of them with Guy. And I don't think she would have done that with her husband, who she actually loved. But Christine Farrow was married in 77, and Guy Hudson replaced Zach in 78, and Christine Garland quit in 78. Okay, so in 77 they got married. She gave birth either in 77 or 78, quit later within the year. She no longer works for Roottrees. Did she ever go back? I do not think so. And then in 82, Guy Hudson died. None of them, Catherine Garrett, any of these people, Angela Ingram, Linda Lewis. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sure I've got those correct. Susan Ford. Honestly, I don't know. We have the records. We know. Pico T page 2. Mid-1981. He sent his mistress Susie into the bathroom to proposition me. She was too good for him. He died soon after, and that was the last that ever came up. 81. Ford. Susan Ford. left in 82. Center for Crime article 82. Someone defaced the school and vehicles Hudson Wing, claiming that infidelity, which may be true, but that doesn't mean that her daughters are actually Guy Hudson's. Bound, press criminal charges, pay for the damages. And then they got divorced. 82. That's when she left, when Guy Hudson died. In May. But if they were born in 82 or 83, let's say he got her pregnant just before he died in May. And then Thomas ran him off the road and killed him. 1982. Also, well, okay, I don't want to get fucking distracted here, but I'm very curious as to why we think that the fucking Ron Roottrees, I mean, we have very little clues on this. Or do they know that they're not? Like, so weird. Think, use your brain. '81. She was definitely mistress. And then the rest of this is unrelated. Him and Patricia, yada yada yada. Company records, 82. Susan Ford started working for them in 80. Well, it was actually, was it even earlier than that? 79. She was moved to office staff in 80. And then let go in 82. Okay. I need a birth date for these girls. Lisa Lincoln. Life after high school. School for the deaf. Yeah, that was not helpful. Al Lincoln. Maybe I found it earlier. Billy Sims, Anonymous. No, that was all about the other group. Ford Sisters. That's what it was about. Ford Sisters. And that was in periodicals, right? March of this year, the Ford sisters who attend public school in Butler County are one of only a handful of identical twins. Mother, twins, born deaf, asked if their daughter Melissa and Heather could be useful, and turns out they were. My youngest by 15 minutes. Ugh. March of this year, 99. Okay. The oldest they could be in high school is 18 years old in America. That would be 81 they'd be born. And that lines up. But there's an overlap. Because she's married to Tom Hughes and having an affair with Guy Hudson. We don't know exactly when they were married. I cannot prove it. Honestly, like 82 to 84. Guy Hudson died in 82. We know that she left in 82. What was her husband's name? Thomas Hughes. I don't think he was on the staff. But Guy Hudson did pay her. Sorry, click that one again. Picoty page 2. Mid 81. She was too good for him. He died soon after. It was the last that ever came up. Yeah, I just cannot. Former student at the school. A week after he married, the schools came weeks after he married the school's student. Newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. Okay, hold on. The article's from 82. The Hudson wing was brand new. The school's newest teacher, current pregnancy. Hudson wing was brand new. Coincidentally formed school. Apparently, the disruption came weeks after he married the school's teacher. So, just a few weeks after they were married, he claims that he's not the father. And the Hudson wing was paid for before. In 81. $250,000. Yeah, I just can't tell. I can't tell. Without knowing their exact birth dates, and it's not like we're missing evidence. I just think it's impossible to prove. If we know their exact birth dates, maybe. Like if they're only... See, yeah, there's too much overlap. Okay. So then we've got Flavio. This was a marriage of convenience. We know that they did the deed. Company records indicate 1980 to 81, both a Christmas tree bash, which is where the picture comes from, although we see Susan in the background. The fact that he is paying her... Strawberry started in the 80s and paid in the 81s as well. Then we've got this. Nia, significant inheritance in 1980, invested it in many different manufacturing businesses. That would be, of course, the start of Strawberry 5 Pieces development, which started in the 80s. And then Business Watch. Her marriage in 1973 was not of her own choice. She had been forced to marry at 15. Her Her arrangements with the husband were for show. They do not live together. She resents her own parents for the arrangement. She must have made her money under the table through nefarious and possibly illegal means. Yeah, I think this is pretty clear. There's really no other evidence to suggest otherwise. Everyone down here, except for the areas of Anonymom that we still need to fucking research, is done to my liking, at least. Yeah. Cruelty, who's Beth? Oh. Frank Wildcat Williams. World War II. He died at age 74. Okay, this is actually important, the time frame here. Newspaper advert things on births and deaths that might have dates of the girls' births. Yeah, but it would tell me that I'm missing a clue there, and I'm not. So that's why I'm saying it's not possible. Twins from two different fathers, also possible. But they do look identical, and identical twins only come from one father. Fraternal twins can come from two. Ouch. Okay, died in 96, age 74. Let's do the math backwards. 1922. In 1922, the affair took place, possible infidelity took place in 21. 22. Well, this is just mainly identifying the fact that she thought it was Elizabeth or Beth. But it wasn't her saying who's Beth, it's her saying who's Bess, but she has a lisp. Ernie once asked her who's Beth. Because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. Not my wife. Just my child. Still have some time. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty certain about all this. Okay. Now, what the fuck is happening over here? Why is Ron Roottrees fucking... Right, Ronald Roottrees and his fucking company. Oh god. Telephoto. I could search for his mom and Starlet again. I know. I can't remember the dude's fucking company name. Yeah, okay. RR Productions, that's what it was. Guys Like Us remake. Movie news. It's Gal on a film canister. Cameron Diaz, Chris O'Donnell, Linda Fiorento, Ron Roottrees. Serious medical issue, only a rumor. Ron Roottrees. Yeah. Saw this. Business Watch. Release a movie about it someday. Ooh, you know, I certainly didn't search Ron Roottrees. Aw, not in Pico T even? Fuck off. Right, Business Watch had one. What really happened with Roottrees? Anonymous source. Yeah, wanted Ron Roottrie to take over. Too eager and personally motivated. They were worried he'd gut the trust to remove Robbie. Ron became frustrated. Chaos, Clark. Clancy trust solely to Clark. Safest choice. No one excited about. Heralded. Miami. Modern Music Monthly. News Time. Pico T. We already checked. Portland Telegraph. Silver Screen Magazine. Alright, it's an old one and it does not. Might be irrelevant. Yeah. Once Famous Mother, American Cinema. Younger brother for script punch-ups. Bring him into the fold, yeah. Starlet. Teen Blast. Telephoto, yeah. Alright, what about Robert? And actually, what about their mother? Gwen. Gwynn. Gwen Roottrie. She died in Paris about 3 weeks ago after leaving Hollywood and made no effort to stay in the limelight. Peacefully in her sleep while being treated for a sudden severe case of pneumonia. Relatively good health. She was 67. Alright, back through all this shit. Feel like I'm gonna have to, use the hint boy. Picoty. Portland Telegraph. Silver Screen Magazine. That's an old one. None of it seems relevant. Starlet. Well, Bill Williams. This is all old shit we don't care about. Telephoto. Team Blast. Nope. Okay. Robert Roottrie. Back to the top. Business Watch. Butler County Times. Chef Signature. Heralded. Miami. Uh-oh, that's my wife. Okay, be there soon. Send me the address. Alright, I'm gonna have to quit now. That's the wife. She's ready for her taxi home. Any genetic issues with Hudson? Not that I know of. So we're gonna have to leave it here, and I'm gonna have to come back and finish this another night, which is unfortunate. Or maybe later tonight if I get home early enough. Who knows? Probably not. So close to being done with this. I'm pretty sure we've got everything locked down except the Ron and Robert question up here. Very confused by what's going on with that. And of course, we don't have the information yet on Anonymom. We know their names. We know one of their jobs. Maybe we don't have pictures. We are missing some additional clues. We will hopefully get that when we come back. I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. So close. So close.
Thanks for watching Doctor Zombie. See you next time.